all comes together. It doesn't matter what, every week we do this, all these things get all thrown about, and then all of a sudden it becomes an awesome soup.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you for this day, this opportunity to encounter your grace in the soup making process as we interact with tomatoes and cilantro, lime juice, and also to encounter your grace in the faces of those we are going to cook with.
I started making soup because it's easy to add a potato to if you hear someone else is coming. One of my favorite parts of that process is when all the ingredients are in the pot and there's nothing else for you to do and they do their own thing and turn into soup as we know it. And I just think that's such a beautiful metaphor for like our relationship with God, that there's times when we're working in accordance and then there's times when God is doing something and we can kind of take a Sabbath rest. In that process of making soup, it's just a really natural way to get to know one another and create a space of belongings. One other part of the process would be when we started this soup business, because it's about building community and fighting off loneliness and acts of empathy and compassion, it made sense to locally source our vegetables, and so we contacted a local farm that across the street at the time that had just started at the same time as us, and so they were delighted to give us their vegetables, and now we work with 4 farms. Probably a central part of our ministry is being at the farmers market. So this is where we really practice loving God and loving our neighbor. And we believe that in that process of getting to know our neighbor face to face in the farmers market setting, that God is communicating to us and encouraging us to listen and discern to the Spirit, and then we respond in accordance. And then we always eat the soup. So anytime I make soup with somebody, we always sit down and eat the soup. And that's really important to us because it again is about slowing down. There's all these touch points, like at the farmer's market when we're talking about our week, in the soup making process, in the connecting to like our local farmer and what's in season. There's just all these moments of encountering God's grace and being invited again into deeper intimacy with God's love. I believe that can happen in a traditional church setting and outside of a traditional church setting, but God is beyond both settings.